Hi everyone, today I'm going to teach you how to do a full head of highlights. From there you could decide if you want to do a partial highlight. It's pretty much the same thing excluding quadrants, what we call 1 and 2. Okay, it's pretty simple. You use the typical what we call Truman roller set parting pattern, and you start in the front of the head about the size of a red roller, as we say, from the top of the eyebrow to the other side. Then we go all the way across and we stop at what we call the parietal ridge. The parietal ridge is where the comb comes off of the head when you're holding it vertically. So it is just right at the point where it curves, if you could see. So there you go. So then you'll stop there. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go about 1 inch to 1.5 inches above it, and then you're going to create a diagonal until you reach the top of the ear. You're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay, there we go. It's already done. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start at quadrant 1, which is typically where we start. And we're going to do everything diagonal back in quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is typically back right, back left, front right. You can part with the front of your comb. You can part with the tail. Why do we use metal tail combs when foiling? Well, the reason is we shouldn't be using metal at all whenever you do any coloring technique or we use any chemical, but the tail of our foiling comb should never touch any chemical. Okay, 1/4 inch is about the thickness of our finger. Let me check it. That is approximately the thickness of my finger. I'm going to get the top 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to hold it between my pointer and middle. My thumb will hold the foil. My comb will be set like this. With my middle finger, I will hold the back of the foil. I'm going to let go, let it swoop over. I'm going to let go with my middle finger and just kind of let the tail comb do its thing. We never want to apply the product right up to the hairline. We want to apply it to the middle first. We'll put our hand gently underneath. We're not holding the foil. Go up higher. Fold in half. And typically we want the back of the foil to be higher than the front. I press it really hard. I might have to change a few things here. And so what's most important is that you don't press. There's a little air pocket on the bottom. It seems pretty flat. I do gently smooth, but I don't press ever because I don't want to lose my air pockets. If I lose my air pockets, I lose lightener expands and I lose the ability to keep the lightener in the foil. It'll literally bleed out and put an incredible, like an extreme stripe at the roots. I'm going to part once again 1/2 inch. I'm going to check to see if it is the thickness that I need. I usually twist it, put my finger there and see if it's approximately that thickness. Correct. I'm going to get the top 1/8 of an inch. I always say that it's approximately about a paper slice. I'm going to weave. Pointer, middle finger, thumb. Here we go. I'll lower this a little bit. My hand is underneath. You don't have to work from the side like I do. I'm literally working from an incredibly uncomfortable position in order to make sure that you see every part of this. Going to fold, estimating where I need to be. I try to get it as close as possible, but when in doubt, make the top slightly higher than the back. You could probably see a little bit of hair right there. Put my hand underneath it. I'm going to press real hard, and it naturally just kind of folds itself. Gently push it over. Press really hard. And then pull over. There are like 2 or 3 things that you really don't want to do. You don't want to squish really hard because that removes all of the little air bubbles for expansion. You don't want to fold too far in because this strand right here that goes all the way across, it's gonna either have lightener on it and bleed and turn everything around it golden, or it will be black and then there's going to be this weird stripe of where the blonde starts about an inch down the hair. So let me fix that foil. Once we get up in these sections where they might be a little too wide, you can separate it into 2. Oh, I forgot to weave. Sorry, guys. Oh, this one looks messy. Let's see if we could fix it. It's okay to have that little guy. You can just fold it. Done. Okay, let's fast forward through this. I pretty much just did all of this, and it's all diagonal back. I skipped out that little triangular piece that happens here. You see? And that's okay if you leave a little bit behind. Now moving on to the next section, what we call quadrant 2 or section 2. It's not really quadrants if we have 5 sections, right? Okay, moving on. Same thing. 1/2 inch. 1/8 inch.
Mommy.
Weave. Point your middle finger. Thumb. Fold. Thank you. Excuse my assistant. Fold it. Reinforce. Close the ends. 1/2 inch. Eighth inch. Weave. I don't typically like to get the edges, and that's so that you can't see the highlights when someone ponytails their hair. Same as weave. When you're putting the weave in, you don't want to put anything close within the first 1/2 inch. Here we go. Apply to the mid shaft. Apply to the ends. Fold it in half. Reinforce. Fold in the corners. Okay, here we go. We're at the top. We're going to exclude that corner. A little bit more. Get the top 1/8 of an inch. Don't forget to apply closer to the base. Reinforce. I don't see that top, so I want to make sure I reinforce. Okay. If I want to, I could grab those 2 little corners, but I'm just going to leave them.